Paige, the artist formerly known as Soraya in AEW, has confirmed that she wants to return to WWE as Paige. She said that she is ready to return to that gimmick, to return to the WWE, but specifically to bring back the Paige that we saw in NXT. That level of wrestling, she wants to get back there. She said she's been training a lot and she feels like she is ready now. But the question, Des, which I have for you, is do WWE need her? Or let me rephrase that. Would she be beneficial for WWE?
I don't really know, to be honest, because I actually had a discussion about this yesterday because my friends were like, oh, AJ Lee and Paige, them coming back and be a tag team would be cool. And which I agree because they had the whole frenemies storyline. My thing is, after the whole AJ thing is, what's next for Paige? You know what I mean? Because I feel like she's already done a good amount. And another thing, too, when she did have that injury, there was like, I'm pretty sure like she could have came back earlier, but they just had nothing for her to do. So I just don't want it to be a situation where it's okay, we'll have her wrestle, and then all right, we're gonna make her a manager, then we're gonna make her the general manager, and then she just becomes a mouthpiece instead of an actual wrestler. So I don't really know if it's gonna help benefit them. Does WWE need them? No, because to be honest, WWE doesn't really need anybody because it's a spoke on the wheel. They have so many big names on there, and it's not me like trying to put anybody down. It's just that's just how it is. WWE has some of the best stars in the entire world when it comes to professional wrestling. That if one person leaves, someone's going to step up and take that spot. It's just business nature. But I mean, it'd be cool to see her come back. I just don't know like how limited she would be because even in AEW when she came back, it was cool because she had the little feud with Britt Baker. But then it was like, all right, now she's kind of lost in the shuffle. I guess I just don't want to see her get lost in a shuffle. What about you guys? What would you say?
If I'm being honest, Des, what I kind of want to happen is I want her to kind of just not disappear, but disappear from wrestling for about a year. And then in a year's time, come back, return at maybe the 2027 Royal Rumble, and I mean, hey, maybe even win the entire thing, right? Because I'm a big fan of Paige. I've been a big fan of Paige for her entire career. Her AEW run did not go to plan. In ring, she was nowhere near as good as she originally was, and it was the same when she came back from injury in WWE. But she says her neck is completely fine now. She's literally recovered from everything. So if she takes some time away, take some time to really practice, to train, to get back into that shape she was once in the ring, I reckon she can do that. And I still think she has quite a few years left to do that in wrestling because she's only 33 now, right? If she comes back at 34, I mean, look, she's got at least like a decade. Honestly, right? We're seeing Nikki Bella return now around that age. I really do think there's a lot more we can see from Paige in professional wrestling. I truly do. I mean, Shad, I know you kind of feel a strong way here.
Yeah, I want Paige to, step away from the world of pro wrestling and just not come back to pro
Oh my
wrestling.
gosh. That's horrible.
Just
That's
I'm
mean.
okay. That was a little harsh. Look, I'll
That
be honest
was.
with you. I'm vocal about it, man. I was not a fan of Saraya in AEW at all. I think the best thing was the fact that she had that little moment in the UK at All Out and or All In, and that was awesome. But besides that, the in ring work is pedestrian. She's not really moving me on the mic too much. I don't think she has a strong presence or character that she's had before. I just think it's one of those situations where it's unfortunate. I feel like time was taken away from her, obviously due to injury. But the 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 allure of Paige was that she was Roxanne Perez. She was the young prodigy. She was so good
Mm,
at such a good age.
yeah.
She's not that no more, right? She's not gonna be able to be the young star no more because she's like you mentioned, she's in her 30s now, right? The wrong side of 30 is always the term in pro sports. You can say a little bit of the same in pro wrestling. The other aspect of it,
I do
but
want to just say this, though. I say about LA Knight when he's in his early 40s, and yes, I know it's different with women, but there are still so many women's wrestlers who are mid 40s wrestling. She has genuinely a lot more time left than LA Knight does.
yeah,
Which is true.
but she's not at the talent level of what LA Knight is right now. Like
Right now, I agree.
That's just the truth. And the thing is this though, like, how many nostalgia like pops do we need to keep adding into this division, right? Like AJ Lee, I think, is the last big one that you can do. Like, I think her and the Bellas, you can kind of end it at there. Like, unless Trish wants to do a full-time run, or Lita wants to do a full-time run, or like Mickey James, right? If Mickey James wanted to come back, that's someone who's a legend, but she can still work at a high quality level, and she can like show that she's able to talk on a high quality level. I don't know what Paige does. And this is the other thing. I think Des said it best. Like, you add her into the roster now, she's not even in the top 20 women on that roster. Like,
wow.
That's just how stacked the roster is. That's not even disrespecting her.
No, you're right. That's not a diss to her. That's just a straight fact.
Yeah, it's just
it's when she came to AEW, it was to me, it felt like it was a bit of a CM Punk factor, or like not CM Punk factor, like a Daniel Bryan factor, right? Danielson came back.
It was a big get.
It was a big get, especially, and then the big get. I say a little bit of CM Punk is because we didn't know she would wrestle again, right?
Yeah,
she came back and she came to the landscape of wrestling, but yeah, man, like, I just don't think she's at that level. It would be cool. I mean, I think she wants to come back home, and I would give her maybe a potential like part-time deal, a Legends deal, something like that, just because she has a sentimental value to the company for what she's done. But it's like, I don't know, man. If you're asking me as a full-time performer, like how I would assume AJ Lee is, like, it's levels, man. I really like Paige as a person, man. I think she's I've listened to a lot of her podcasts and stuff. She seems like a delightful person, but like, you're not AJ Lee. AJ Lee is still like, it's like she hasn't even missed.
But you say that though.
But she's
Paige
not
was a better performer than AJ Lee was when they were wrestling.
Yeah, that's fair. But I just don't feel like now
we
it's
haven't seen
different.
AJ Lee.
Well, I don't know how AJ Lee is going to be as a wrestler. That's
what I mean.
The funny thing is that me and my one of my coworkers who's a big pro wrestling fan, we were talking about that. He's like, it feels big time. He's like, but I got to see how that match is. He's like, because it could be like how Nikki Bella was this past match, and it could be like, oh, because that's a different era.
She looked great this past week. She looked great then.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I'm. Look, man, anything can happen. I think, to AJ Lee's credit, I think she's gonna want to. A lot of these, past superstars are gonna want to come back and have a moment like that. Like, WWE, man, I gotta give them credit to that point. They're, and I'm gonna talk about it this week on the podcast about women's wrestling. But like, they're making women's wrestling like really cool right now. Like, if you're a women's superstar, you like are just itching to want to go to the WWE because you get an opportunity to wrestle some of the biggest stars in pro wrestling right now, and they're in that division. So kudos to them.
Absolutely. Make sure to check out Wrestling Republic's podcast every Monday here on the Wrestling Republic YouTube channel, where Shad will be talking about that. But the other thing I will just very quickly add to this point is, I do agree with you on there's just no space for her right now. That's the issue. And the Legends roles are already filled, so just wait a year. I don't think this AJ Lee deal, I mean, it is a few years, but I don't reckon she's going to be in a huge position in a year from now. I reckon there will be a space that opens up, and I reckon Paige could fill it then. But the Atomic Merp agrees with you, Shard. Podcast Grifter says Batista was in his 40s when he became big in WWE. If she's healthy, she can definitely contribute. DCX Warlord says Saraya versus Oscar and Saraya versus Kyrie. Two very fun matches I'd like to see there. Podcast Grifter's podcast says if Paige becomes like a player coach, she can probably contribute. And Fernando says, I was a fan of Paige, but I think the wrestling landscape has passed her by.